Hi, welcome to my Mission Moment video. And joining me today is Veronica Cortez, Associate Director of Policy. Today, Veronica and I are going to talk about how policy and leadership and their team is building leadership capacity to mobilize communities, to dismantle barriers to access for children and families so that they can have equitable opportunities. So tell me a little bit what you mean when we talk about dismantling systemic barriers.
Yeah, what we mean is that the systems that we have in place to serve families and children aren't working and that they're not accessible. And they're mostly not accessible to the people that need them the most. One example is we have a program in the state of Illinois called the Child Care Assistance Program, and it provides funding for childcare for families that need it. But to access the program, you have to have a job already. And so people that don't have a job can't use the program to look for a job.
So you have to fill a very extensive application. So you have to have a prior level of schooling or literacy in the language that the form is in or the languages, and you don't have childcare to look for work.
Right. So after a lot of advocacy from parents, from advocates, in 2021 with some federal funding, the governor created the initial activity search, which allowed parents to take 3 months, not have a job, have 3 months to look for a job and have childcare during that time. But that program is sunsetting because of that federal funding ending. And so now it's time for us to continue to advocate for the program to continue to serve families better.
Right. Yeah, so you have the opportunity, but you have an obstacle that's so insurmountable that keeps those who would benefit from the system out. The other thing that policy and leadership does are the fellowship programs, the Bowman Leadership Fellow, the Early Childhood Leadership Academy. Tell me a little bit about this work in building capacity, and how do fellows go on to make a difference in their communities?
Yeah, so we have the Bowman Leadership Fellows Program, and that fellowship program focuses on early childhood leaders and getting them to understand how to advocate for policy change.
Yes.
We provide them with the tools, and we create a network for them as well. They're making real policy change through the fellowship.
Yes, and they're everywhere. I feel like when I first moved to Illinois and traveled throughout the state, every day almost I would meet a fellow, including Juliana Stratton, the lieutenant governor, but so many other people, judges and legislative leaders who know how to find the baby in everything that they do.
Yes, and so that's our other fellowship program, our Executive Fellows Program. That's where we take leaders across the state of Illinois and we bring them to Erikson for 6 days total, 3 days at a time, and we kind of train them on why early childhood is so important and those first experiences, why they're so important, how bonding with your child is super important, and we've seen just absolutely such great responses from the people going through that, and then we see them out in the world kind of advocating for policies and for change that need to happen because of their experience at Erikson and understanding early child development a little bit better.
Yes. What advice do you have for us as we seek to work toward changing systems so that we can have a more equitable and just future where all children, families, and communities can thrive?
I think we all need to be involved. We can't sit on the sidelines. If there's a school board meeting and you're invested in something that's happening at your school board, at your school district, go to the meeting, make a public comment, say something. And so get involved, go talk to the board members, go to a meeting, figure out who's your legislative representative at the federal and state level, and make calls. If you have something that you are advocating for and that you want change for, go talk to those people and say that.
Thank you, Veronica. There's so much more that you do that we were not able to cover here. I encourage everyone to get to know more about our policy and leadership work, and thank you for watching. I hope you will join us in the pursuit of justice, advocating for every child, family, and community to have equitable opportunities. You can learn more at erikson.edu.